Hello YouTube, TGIF here with another deck profile, this time of a traditional format deck that I made because I really wanted to just make a super was broken in its prime deck. I wanted a traditional deck. And for those of you who don't know, traditional format is when they take the ban list and all forbidden cards move up to limited, so you can run one of any forbidden cards, such as you could, for instance, rebuild the Yugioh lock, you could run, just hype up an Yugioh deck a little bit more, any of the just broken decks that were really good, any cat decks, Synchro Cat, Plant Cat, you could, I mean now in 2012, you could essentially just run plants in the traditional format. But I decided to build it on the card last turn. It's trap card. Trap card's the win condition in this deck. So we'll get to it here. We'll start with the traps first. We run one last turn. Last turn is you can only activate this card when you have 1,000 or less points. Target one card on your field, target one monster on your side of the field, send all other cards, so starters can't stop it, and anything that stops destroying cards can't stop it. Can't like Starlight Rotors or anything. Send all cards on the field and in their owner's respective hands to the graveyard. Then your opponent special summons a monster. The two monsters battle each other. The battle damage is 0. The person with one monster left on the side of the field after the battle, wins the duel. Very complicated. You might think, well, you better be running some like 4,000 life attack point cards, but we'll get into the monster lineup is the reason why this card wins. And you also might think that it's super inconsistent at 1. If I was running a last turn deck, I wouldn't even run it above 2 if it was legal. I wouldn't even be running it above 2 simply because you have to have 1,000. You don't want your life points. You want to get this card at the right time, so you set up the deck to get this card at the appropriate time. So set that aside. Other traps, we're going the one of limited Wall of Revealing Light. Pay life points in intervals of 1,000. Your opponent's monsters with attack equal to or less than the amount of life points you paid can't attack. Essentially, this is either just a stall card, or you get this and this set in the same turn. Activate this, pay 7,000 or however much you need, then activate this, and then the monsters do the rest. Then we run the Solemn Brigade. I mean, obvious, you're trying to pay life points, and why not negate every thing your opponent does. And then 3 7 Tools of the Bandit, because these things are chainable with MST, and we run Mask of Darkness just to get them back in our hands, and they're chainable, and even this is chainable, so you can pay the cost for Wall of Revealing Light, and then it goes to the graveyard. So 3 of these just to drop some life points and whatnot. On to the spells. All the spells are meant to make it consistent and stall a little bit. 3 Upstart Goblin, give your opponent 1,000 life points, draw a card. Very useful. Comes in handy with triple gold Sark, because the deck likes to get this gold Sark first, and gold Sark your Wall of Revealing Light, and then draw into the rest of the cards you need, then get your last turn after you gold Sarked your wall. Double Duality, 3 becomes Cloggy, like I say in every single one of my videos. Triple Duality will become Cloggy, but you don't special summon in this deck at all. Staples, 1 Swords of Revealing Light, stall for a little bit, and then heavy in MST. I was actually testing this deck, and I had a clutch. I heavied their back row out, and then went for game. One of the monsters. The monsters, there are a lot of monsters. It's a very monster-heavy deck. The monsters are very useful in this deck. It's about, It's about an even split. Looking at the size of each stack, it's about an even split, but we're going to do triple, a cat of ill omen. I'm going to explain these cards because you probably haven't seen most of them. A cat of ill omen. Flip. Select one trap card from your deck and put it on top of your deck. If Necro Valley's out on the field, add it to your hand. Obviously we don't have Necro Valley, so you're just going to flip it and put the card you want on top of your deck. It adds to the consistency beautifully. As well as, just in case they screw you over or you want to stall a little bit more, Mask of Darkness. Flip. Select one trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Some good flip effects. A card you might not have seen, or you probably heard of, but Joggin the Spiritualist. You can randomly discard one card from your hand to destroy all special summon monsters, and also your opponent cannot special summon, or neither player can special summon, sorry. So it's good for the current decks, and then stop special summoning. I'll set these monsters aside because these are very important, as well as Triple Fossil Dyna, Paraphernalia, Pedophile, Fossil Dyna, Pedophilia. I'm gonna start calling him that. When this card's flip face, neither player can special summon a monster. When this card's flip face up, destroy all special summon monsters on the field. Double Vanity's Fiend. You got to tribute to get it out because it's 6 stars. 2400 beat. Neither player can special summon. And stall cards. Double Fader. This deck's prone to OTKs, so why not let them. Double Spirit Reaper. And double Marshmallow. More stall power, can't be destroyed by battle. And Sangan, specifically to search out a Cat of Ill Omen, or Battle Fader, or anything, if you're getting worried. And it was just another card to throw in here. It's a little tech choice, I guess. You could run a third Spirit Reaper, but why not just add to the consistency? And now briefly we're going to talk about why this deck wins. These cards, these monsters, that prevent special summoning, combined with last turn. If you haven't already figured it out, then you're an idiot. No offense. Last turn. The last little bit of the last turn is your opponent special summons a monster from their deck. Vanity's Fiend. Neither player can special summon. They don't have a monster on the field. You win. Fossil Dyna. Neither player can special summon. They don't have a monster out on the field because they can't special summon. This interferes with last turn. They can't special summon. You win. Joggin the Spiritualist. They can't special summon. You win. You never special summon in this deck except for if you're battle fadering, which that doesn't interfere with the last turn. It's now. I hope you guys understand why this is a traditional format card, not advanced format card. It's busted. It's I played it. This deck's really consistent with, I mean, there's not much you can do to make it as consistent as, like, if you watch other decks play, because they have so much support, and there's no support other than a Cat of Ill Omen that gets you traps. Cat of Ill Omen and Gold Sark are the only things that will search your traps. And I know it's a traditional format. Why aren't you running Pot of Greed? Because I wouldn't feel right to break it with playset, and it's already super consistent. I don't know why. It's just something that I don't want to do, is throw in a Pot of Greed in place of one of the upstarts. But this and this set with your Joggin the Spiritualist out, unless they're negating, which you have to pay the cost of this beforehand. So you pay the cost, then they negate it. Okay. Then you activate this. And if they're negating, you're running a Solemn Judgment and 3/7 tools. There's no counter spells in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So you can't really stop it, and that's why we run the MST and the heavy. You have a tendency with the draw power to draw into that and then search out the discard. So all in all, a very fun traditional format deck. Hope it encourages some people to go out and actually make traditional format because it's a lot of fun. Just the idea of using the cards that were banned for a reason. No card is banned because it's not broken. And I'm not talking like plants, like, oh, I'm going to throw a glow bulb into something and make a traditional format. That doesn't make anything nearly as busted as throwing the Yatagarasu lockdown, throwing a, Cyberstein, or not Cyberstein, Magical Ant. You can punch me in the face now. Magical Scientist. Running a Magical Scientist build. Just a Mind Master build. All these decks that are banned for a reason, not plants were pretty good, let's ban. Plants were good, plants aren't as busted as a Yata Locker of super consistent last turn, like, oh, you're gonna synchro a lot, you're not gonna instantly win, and you're not gonna lock down your opponent. So I hope it encourages people to get out and make some decks on the traditional format side of things. And one last thing before we go, I don't know if guys have ever thought about it this way. The ban list is kind of like the Hall of Fame in any sports for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because all the cards that are banned because they're too good, or because they are the best. They won a bunch of tournaments, they won a bunch of national championships, they won the Super Bowl like 80 bajillion times, or for some reason, the New York Giants, because I'm a New York Giants fan, and 8 other New York Giants teams all got top 32 at the local Super Bowl. So I hope like that makes a little bit of sense. But go out, try last turn deck, traditional format. Rate, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoy. So it's team budget. About dual videos will be up. Hopefully, not this weekend. I'll be out of town and I'm working all weekend. Hopefully soon dual videos will be up. But last turn deck. Rate, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, anything, just let me know. And enjoy.